So Afghanistan has been hit by several significant earthquakes in recent years. In October 2023, a magnitude 6.3 earthquake struck Herat province in the west of the country. That killed more than 2,000 people. In June 2022, a magnitude 5.9 earthquake hit the Paktika and Coast provinces in the east. 1,000 people were killed, and again, critical civilian infrastructure was destroyed. Afghanistan is vulnerable to major tremors because it lies in a seismically volatile area close to the boundary between the Eurasian and Indian tectonic plates. Thamindri de Silva is the National Director at World Vision Afghanistan, joining us from Kabul this morning. Thanks for your time. What are you hearing about the scale of the devastation?
Hi, Darine. Thank you for having me. World Vision doesn't work in the area, but we've been speaking with partners and other international organizations and national organizations. And what everyone says is that it's very hard to tell because the area is so remote, because the villages are interspersed. What we do know is that Mazar village seems to have been the epicenter and that the village is completely destroyed. As some of the reporters said, there have been about 600 to 800 deaths and over 2,000 injured already. But I would say this is at the tip of the iceberg because access is so difficult at the moment. Yeah,
I wanted to ask you the latest figures you're getting about the latest death toll. So what you're saying is you do expect that death toll currently at 600 minimum to rise.
Yes, because as far as we know, because of the landslides, there is no road access and there are barely any roads in that area anyway, and the terrain is so hilly. So it's only, as far as we know, 4 helicopters that the Afghan National Disaster Management Agency is using, and that is not enough to cover the area that has been affected. We're also hearing that additional districts and provinces, particularly Laghman, and then that was mentioned, and then Nuristan are also affected by the earthquake. And so we will have to continue to make sure that we're monitoring to see how much the actual scale is.
How prepared are authorities to deal with this type of devastation? And would they be asking other countries for help right now?
So the region was an unexpected location, even though there have been earthquakes east of the area. This is the first time that there has been an earthquake, at least in living memory, in that point. In terms of preparedness, the Afghan National, the ANMA, is usually quite prepared. But when it comes to, infrastructure needs such as, diggers or helicopters, that is something that is beyond the scope, and which is possibly an area where other countries would be able to provide support with.
Are you hearing of any countries right now that are providing support at this hour?
Not at the moment. As far as we know, there has been a lot of mobilization on the ground. There has been coordination. There's actually a meeting ongoing as we speak that ANMA in the province has sort of coordinated, but we haven't heard of anything further.
Tell us about the community in the area there, which was really the epicenter of the earthquake.
Sure. This is one of the most remote and also one of the most poor parts of Afghanistan. There are very few infrastructure. There are no health centers. There are no schools. The architecture and sort of the houses are built basically with mud and very little reinforcements. And if at all, it is wood. It's something World Vision also saw during the Herat earthquake because of the very weak infrastructure, though it's good for the climate and helps the climate control, whether it's hot or cold. It's very hard because as soon as there is a sudden shock, and particularly of this magnitude, the infrastructure collapses within. And a lot of people will be buried as a result. Time truly is of the essence when it comes to this situation.
And just if you put this into context and tell us how vulnerable Afghanistan is to earthquakes.
So we have been expecting earthquakes, particularly around the Kabul area. Some of the locations that we've had earthquakes in the past, particularly Herat, for example, hadn't experienced any sort of earthquake for over 25 years. So even though we have been told that this is one of the hazards that we should be anticipating, none of us can anticipate the actual location because it has been so varied. But I think what's really true is that there needs to be an immense amount of preparedness going into particularly the management of earthquake in the months and years ahead.
Okay, we will leave it there. Thank you so much for joining us this hour from Kabul.
Don't miss out. Get the full picture. Subscribe to Al Jazeera for reliable news, expert insight. Like, share, stay ahead.